work today on stabilization. We're going to do some core work and also focus in on the SI joint, the sacroiliac joint, the sacrum. This time of year, I know people are doing a push outside, carrying wood, raking, cutting down your, cleaning out for fall. Any activity that we do which is asymmetrical will tend to stress the sacroiliac joint. So we're going to do some stabilization there. A ball is a very nice tool here, so if you have one, please get it out. If you don't have a ball, a really actually handy hack is just a fresh roll of toilet paper. I'll show you how to use that when we get there, but most people have this around, so you could get this. Or we could use our folded blanket or a pillow doubled over a folded bath towel. So the sacrum is the very bottom of the spine. There's a wedge of bones at the bottom of the spine that are fused once we're past really early babyhood. The vertebrae of the sacrum fuse, and it's kind of a wedge or a triangle shaped shape, and it doesn't move much, but it sometimes moves a bit. It needs to move a little bit, and it's its relationship with the iliac, the bones of the pelvis, that can be problematic if it's shifting across those bones in a way that's dysfunctional. So we're going to bring stability into that part of the body. We'll come into constructive rest, lying on the back with the knees bent. Feet on the floor in line with the sit bones. Hands a bit wider than the mat so you can spread your upper back. Palms turned up towards the ceiling. Back of the head in contact with the mat. If you feel that your chin is jutting up towards the ceiling rather than being drawn towards the notch of the neck, then please put some support underneath your head to lengthen the back of the neck. And once you've found this position, just let yourself relax into gravity here. Take a few relaxed breaths, letting your bones settle down. Feeling the points at which your body's in contact with the floor. And you can be particularly aware today of the sacrum. So in this position with your knees bent, you're going to have a little curve behind your lower back. And if you travel down towards the tailbone, you'll feel a portion of the lowest part of the spine in contact with the floor. That's the sacrum. Well, one of the keys to maintaining sacral stability is having a strong inner core, working with the pelvic floor and the low transversus abdominis muscles. So we'll start there. Continuing to allow the bones to settle down into the floor, we'll bring the attention to the pelvic floor, shaped like a diamond. The bony landmarks are the tailbone, the sit bones, the pubic bone. Picture the diamond that's formed if you connect those points with your mind's eye. And then without moving your bones around, inhale, picturing that diamond. And then as you exhale, shrink the diamond towards the center, which will be the perineum. And see if you can do not squeezing the buttocks, but actually find that pelvic floor drawing in towards the center. And then relax. And then we'll bring the attention to the transversus abdominis. This is your deep, supportive abdominal muscles that wrap around like a belt, all the way around from the spine. Imagine this big, broad, elastic belt deep down and buckling underneath the belly button. So take an inhale and picture that belt supporting you all the way around the body. And as you exhale, starting at the spine, mentally move out in both directions and wrap it around and then hook beneath the belly button. And feel that support. It's your internal girdle of support. And then relax. And return your attention to the pelvic floor. Picture that diamond as you inhale. And with your exhale, gather it into the center. Again, this is not about squeezing the buttocks. You can engage the anal sphincter, the urogenital sphincter, and then release. Picture the belt coming around. Starting at the spine, exhale, move out in each direction and wrap the belt around the lowest part of the abdominals. And then relax and release. And completely give into gravity's pull. Again, settling in and being aware of the sacrum, the lowest part of the spine, in contact with the mat. We're going to put the two parts together. Inhale, prepare for the inner core. And exhale, engage the pelvic floor and then wrap that belt around. And then maintain and see if you can take a breath in while maintaining that engagement. You should feel nice and secure around the pelvic girdle. Maintain it while you inhale and renew it as you exhale. And then release and relax. So that in and of itself could be a good start for SI stability. We're going to bring the arms down to the sides and use that inner core to stabilize while we do arm lifts. Inhale, bring the arms up to vertical. With the exhale, engage the inner core and reach the arms back. We're maintaining a neutral lower back. Inhale, bring the arms up to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, release the arms and relax the work of the inner core muscles, softening into gravity. Inhale, bring the arms up towards the ceiling again. And stabilize as you exhale and reach back, keeping the pelvis still, keeping the lower back still. Inhale, arms float up. And with the exhale, lower the arms down to the sides. And one more time, inhale, float the arms up. And stabilize as you reach back with the exhale. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, lower the arms down to the sides. Relax the neck and shoulders. Let the bones settle into gravity's pull again. And let's bring the hands behind the head. Interlace the fingers, open the elbows out wide. And move our attention up to the ribs, finding the connection with the obliques. Inhale, feel your ribs flare as you breathe in. And as you exhale, unflare your front ribs. Each set of front ribs is reaching across the belly down to the opposite hip point. You're going to feel the ribs knitting towards each other. And then inhale, let the ribs flare. Be aware of the back ribs. Feel how they're kind of pulling away from the floor. And with your exhale, imprint the back ribs into the mat like you're trying to make an impression on a stamp pad with the stamper. Inhale, let the ribs flare again. And exhale, unflare the front ribs, reaching down on those diagonals towards each back pocket on the opposite side. And relax with the inhale. And exhale, gently imprint your back ribs down into the mat. And inhale, relax, let's put the two together. Feel the ribs flare and exhale, unflare the front ribs, imprint the back ribs. Keep that work going. Reconnect with your inner core and then maintaining a neutral lower back and pelvis. Lift your head as you exhale and inhale, lower it back down. Again, exhale to lift and inhale to lower. Once again, exhale to lift. We're going to keep the head up. Feel those ribs wrapping down towards the opposite back pocket. Feel the inner core working and then keep the pelvis stable. Lift the right foot up and lower it back down. Continue to stabilize and take the left foot up and lower it back down. And again, on the right side, pelvis is perfectly still. Lower back maintaining its neutral lower back curve. And over to the left side and lower down. Do it one more time. Right leg up and lower. And left leg up and lower down. And then we'll release the head. Take the arms to the ceiling for a moment. Relax the shoulder joints. Circle the arms. Nice, small, loose circles. And then reverse. We're going to keep the arms there with the hands above the shoulders. Arm bones drop down into the shoulder sockets. Begin again by engaging the inner core, finding the pelvic floor in the belt. And then wrap the ribs around from the front, imprint them in the back. Keep your pelvis steady and float your right foot up off the floor. This time we're going to keep it up. Continue to imprint and lift the left leg up as well. This is a neutral tabletop position. Feel that your lower back is still in its neutral position. Keep your arms as they are, and then without using your hands, exhale and pull your knees in close to your chest, letting the lower back flatten for the first time in the practice. Relax the shoulders. Be sure that the back of the neck remains long. And then wrap that belt around and rock your knees over to the left side, around to the center, over to the right side, and back up into the center. Relax the shoulders, pull them in close, and then move your knees over to the right and away and over to the left and pull back into the center without using the hands. Be aware of your back ribs this time as we go over to the left. Keep your back ribs down on the mat. Reach the knees away, over to the right. Keep the shoulders down and still. Pull into the center and circle over to the right, away, over to the left. Pull into the center. We're going to go one more each time, finding as much movement as you can beneath the waist and as little as possible above the waist. And one more time. Then let's bring one hand onto each knee and gently pull the legs in close to the belly. Relax the feet, the shoulders, just gentle stretch. And then move the knees out away from the chest until you have your neutral lower back curve in place again. Lift the feet as high as the knees. Re-engage your inner core. Knit and imprint the ribs. Lower the right foot down. And then the left foot down. And relax. Back into constructive rest pose. Neutral lower back, neutral pelvis. Okay, we're going to get our prop. So I prefer the ball if you have one, but I'm going to show you how to use the toilet paper roll. You're going to take it sideways so the cardboard portion is going from knee to knee. And that gives you a pretty good distance for the legs. So if you have a ball, go ahead and use that. Or if you are using a folded towel or blanket, try to make the knees in line with the sit bones, the heels, knees, and sit bones all in line. So we're going to relax the upper body, engage the inner core, and then squeeze into the object, whatever it is, the ball, the roll, and then relax the squeeze. And let's do that keeping the pelvis still, so no rocking of the pelvis. Engage the inner core and then squeeze in, and then relax. And again, exhale, engage the inner core. Now this time, keep your inner core going as you relax the squeeze. And then when you're done with the squeeze, you can let the core go again. And re-engage inner core, squeeze. And maintain your inner core as you relax the squeeze. And then relax the core work. And now one more time, inner core. Squeeze in, and then maintain. Continue to squeeze in, continue to engage the inner core. Maintaining that inner core and that squeeze, we're going to bring the hands behind the head again. Reconnect with the inner core, the pelvic floor, the belt, and the ribs. And do another head lift with neutral, this time with the squeeze on the ball or the roll. And let's just do that twice more. And then release the head, Relax the squeeze and then the core, and settle into gravity's pull again. So if you are doing asymmetrical work, or if you have pain in the back of the pelvis, or even sometimes down the legs, this can be really supportive. Okay, let's take this out. We're going to use it again in a moment. But first we'll do the 100. And we begin in our neutral rest position, finding the inner core, wrapping the belt around. Knit and imprint the ribs, and we're going to start with the left foot, raising the left foot up. Keep imprinting and lift the right foot up. Bring your hands down by your sides and press the palms into the floor. Recommit to all of the core, lift your head. If you like, you can extend the legs out, and then we're going to pulse for 5 with the exhale, and for 5 with the inhale, maintaining a neutral lower back curve. Inhale for 5. Exhale, and inhale. Exhale, arms are active, elbows straight, inhale. Shoulders dropping down, exhale for 5, and inhale. Exhale, and inhale. Exhale. Inhale, keep your chin into your chest. Exhale. Inhale. One more time, exhale. And inhale. And then bend the knees. Put your head down. Relax the neck. One hand on each knee. Drop your shoulders down. And then flop the knees out wide. Let the legs relax wide for a moment. And now we're going to start stirring the legs. And keeping the legs really nice and loose in the joint. It's okay if your sacrum, if your pelvis moves. If your sacrum is a bit iffy, you might want to wrap your drawstrings around and keep the pelvis still here. We want to really relax the legs and reverse. And pull both knees into the chest, lengthening the lower back and the back of the neck. Now we're going to keep the right knee into the breastbone and straighten the left leg out. With both hands, pull the knee towards the breastbone. The right knee in towards the breastbone. Left leg is straight out on the floor. Now we're going to practice stretching the leg without allowing the pelvis to move. We're going to stabilize the sacrum. So we're going to move the knee out a little ways from the chest. Feel your sacrum nice and firmly on the mat. Engage your inner core. Bring your left hand down on your left hip or thigh, and then pull your right knee towards your breastbone, keeping the pelvis still as you do this stretch. You don't want to rock the pelvis. Asymmetrical motions can aggravate the sacrum, so we're going to keep the pelvis steady. You're wrapping your belt around, feeling the stretch in the right inner thigh. Then move the knee back towards the breastbone. Continue to keep the sacrum on the floor. Switch so you have your left hand on your right knee. Your right arm can just relax down. And again, with the belt wrapped around the sacrum, pull your knee up and over towards your left shoulder this time, stretching gently in the outer thigh, not twisting the pelvis. Twisting, if the sacrum is aggravated, can just makes the situation worse. So stabilize with your belt muscle and pull up and over towards the left shoulder. It's not a very extreme stretch for most of you probably, but a little bit of stretch on the outer hip. And then go back into the center. Feel your tailbone down. Feel the sacrum on the mat. Recommit to the inner core. Wrap your ribs around and then extend the right leg up. Hold the back of the leg as you point the toes and then flex the foot. And point and flex and point, flex and point. Now we're going to maintain the point, re-engage the core, keep the pelvis and the ribs steady, and circle the leg. Nice, small, slow circles. So asymmetrical movements can sometimes, are one of the things that are bothersome for the sacrum, but if you make this asymmetrical movement well supported, please reverse the circles, there's no asymmetry necessary in the pelvis just because you're only using one leg. So keep that belt wrapped around. When we're done, we're going to pull your ribs really firmly around to the back pockets and keep the legs straight. Lower it down to the floor. Really think about your belt staying snug around the pelvis. Once the foot is down, you can relax completely. Just take a moment there. And then we'll pull the left knee into the center of the chest. And you want to stay balanced at the back of the pelvis, not rocking over to one side. And release the knee just a little bit out so you can really feel your sacrum down on the mat. Right hand on the front of the right leg, and with your left hand you're going to pull your left knee towards your left armpit. Keep your right hip down, don't let the pelvis rock, just stretch the left inner thigh. And then we're going to switch hands, bring the knee towards the center. Right hand on the left knee, left arm relaxed at your side. Gather that belt around your pelvis and pull your knee up over towards your right shoulder. Keep your left hip down. We're just stretching the outer hip. We're not twisting the spine. Keep the back of the sacrum down onto the mat, evenly on each side. Gentle stretch for the lateral hip socket on the left side. And then release to the center. Re-engage the pelvic floor, the belt. Take your ribs and wrap them to the opposite back pockets. Imprint the back ones and straighten your left leg up to the ceiling. Take the back of the leg in your hands and point the toes, and then flex the foot back. And point, and flex, point, and flex. Once more, point, flex, and finishing your point. Feel your tailbone down, even at the back of the sacrum. Gather the inner core, knit and imprint the ribs, and circle the leg. Be really careful, especially careful this morning, to keep the back of the pelvis really well anchored, evenly grounded on each side, totally still as you circle the leg. And then re-engage the core in reverse. And then we'll keep the legs straight with a good strong inner core. Reach the leg down towards the floor, lengthening from the toes to the crown. Good long reach. Keeping the legs out straight. We're going to inhale the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, take the arms back towards the floor behind you. Relax into the inhale. Exhale, engage the inner core. Pull your back ribs down to the mat. Tilt the pelvis slightly, not to get a flat back, but just a neutral spine. And stay there for a moment. Reaching long. Feeling the wrapping of the ribs, the gathering of the belt around the waist, the hips, the low belly. And then relax. And float the arms up towards the ceiling. And then down to the sides. And then we'll bend the knees and return to constructive rest for a moment. as you're resting in constructive rest and letting the body drop down into the flow of gravity. Another really nice fix for the sacrum is picturing your back pockets spreading apart from each other. So take a moment, imagine your back pockets spreading wide apart from each other on the mat. And then we're going to work on the side. The clamshells are really the best medicine for the sacrum. So we're going to do them today with your prop, either the ball, the toilet paper roll, or your folded blanket or towel. We'll start by lying on the left side. Make sure the neck and shoulders are comfortable, and then we're going to place the ball between the knees. I'm at a 45-degree hip flexion here, so my knees are at the front of the mat, my feet are underneath me. And I want to be sure that I'm not rocking back. So the right hip is going to be rolled forward a little bit. And then I'm going to gather the pelvic floor and wrap the belt around. And then begin by gently pressing down into the ball or the roll, whatever you have there. Keeping that belt snug, I'm going to unweight the knee. I don't want to drop my object, but I'm going to come up away from it as far as I can without dropping it. And then again, press down, squeezing. Keep your belt snug as you float the knee up, unweighting the right knee. You're doing an external rotation. There should be a lot going on in the right butt. And then lower and gently press. Keep the belt snug as you unweight the knee, lift, externally rotating the right leg. And again, press. And roll out. Keep the belt nice and snug. Keep engaging or re-engaging the pelvic floor. And try that 5 more times. Good. Attention on that inner core the whole time. And make sure that we're really engaging those deep, supportive postural muscles. And last one, you're just going to finish with a squeeze. And then relax the squeeze. Relax the core muscles, check in with the neck and shoulders, release any tension there. Then we're going to bend the knees a bit more, so we have both the feet and the knees at the front of the mat, 90-degree hip flexion. Again, be sure that you're not sitting back in the right hip. I'm going to roll that right hip forward and keep it forward. Start with the pelvic floor, gently wrap the belt around, and then press down into the ball and unweight. And again, press as you're engaging the core, relaxing the neck and shoulders, and unweight. Take your time moving in slow motion here. Press into the ball and unweight. And keep reconnecting with the inner core. Keep finding the pelvic floor. Continue to snug that belt around the hips. And do that 5 more times. Neck is still relaxed. And the last one, we're going to finish with a squeeze and maintain. Then relax the effort. And we'll open the front of the hips out to a 0-degree hip flexion. The knees are still bent. You're still holding your ball. So your knees are directly under the head and the feet are behind you. Engage your inner core, stable pelvis, and press down and unweight. In nice slow motion. Five more times. Keep it slow. Keep snugging the belt around the hips. Continue to reconnect with the pelvic floor. Finish with a squeeze. And then relax. Now you can keep the ball between your knees and we're going to take an intermediary position on the back with the knees bent, the ball between the knees. So we're back to constructive rest pose. Re-engaging the inner core. Squeeze in on the ball and maintain. And then slowly release that. Do that 2 more times. Inner core, stable pelvic girdle, press into the ball, squeeze and maintain. You can breathe while you're maintaining. And then slowly release. And 1 more time. And maintain the squeeze. Check that your lower back is neutral. And then slowly release. And we'll keep the ball there and turn to the right side. You see this 45-degree hip flexion is basically constructive rest on your side. Okay, so check your left hip. Roll it forward so that the knees are stacked one on top of the other. Neck and shoulders easy. Engage the inner core. And then press down into the ball. And unweight. And nice snug belt around the hips. Press. And unweight. External rotation of the left leg. Press. And unweight. And again. And do that 5 more times. Keep the pace slow. Sometimes when people tell me that their back is hurting, they actually mean their sacrum. So if you're down into the level of the pelvis, that's the sacrum. And it can feel like a sharp pain, a dull ache. I even had something a couple weeks ago that I've never had before, like a nervy tingling. And the way I dealt with it was doing this twice a day, and it went away within a couple of days. It really works. You could even feel pain down your leg. That could also be a symptom of the sacrum pain. And the last one here, squeeze. And then release. And then we're going to go to 90-degree hip flexion. Again, check that the left hip is not rolling behind you. And then engage your inner core. Belt snug across your hips. Begin with a press. And then unweight. And press. Now, of course, this is also just really good maintenance protection to prevent any sacral discomfort. Keep it slow. Do 5 more. See if you can feel the work in the buttock. And be constantly aware of the belt wrapping around. On the last one, we're going to press, squeeze, and maintain. And then relax that. And open the front of the hips out, all the way to 0 degree hip flexion. Find the inner core, snug belt, squeeze down into the ball, and then unweight. Good, keep it slow, be patient with it, and unweight. Really beneficial to move slowly here, consciously reconnecting with the inner core all the time. That 5 more times. On the last one, maintain and squeeze. Continue to think about your belt wrapping around. And then relax that. And once again, we're going to turn to the back, keeping the ball between the knees, finding the neutral rest position, re-engaging with the inner core, and squeeze into the ball and maintain. And then slowly release. And again, anchoring the inner core, squeeze and maintain. And release. One more time. Inner core first, then the legs pressing in and maintain. And slowly release. Now I want you to be careful about the way you get the ball out from between your knees. Don't just jerk the feet up. Let's try turning to the side. And then as you sit up, you can take the ball out. We don't want to undo all of that good stability that you just got. So we're going to go now onto the stomach. And I'm going to have you place your hands underneath your hip points so you can feel that bone of the hip point pressing into the middle of the palm on each hand. Once again, we're going to be doing an asymmetrical pose, but with a lot of stability around the pelvis, so this should not bother the sacrum. In fact, this is really beneficial. So we want the forehead on the floor. You might feel like you need a little towel or something under the forehead. Go ahead if you want that. So feel that release, each palm having equal weight dropping down into it. So maybe you can relax the buttocks and the legs here. And then without engaging the legs, the buttocks, find the pelvic floor. Wrap your belt around. And then keep the weight exactly equal on both hands. And float your right foot up off of the floor just the teeniest bit. And unweighting the right leg. As you unweight the right leg, we definitely don't want to have the hip coming up because that's way too big of a movement. But I don't want you also to press down into your right hip. So you're going to keep the hips really level and lower down. You're going to need your belt at full support. Gather, and then we're going to go to the other side, floating the left leg up just a little bit without tipping from side to side. Completely balanced, lower down. Twice more on each leg, inner core, and float the right leg up. This is strengthening for the buttock and the hamstrings. Those are the hip extensor muscles. Re-support with your belt and take the left leg up. Try not to press into your left hip and lower down. And reset, over to the right leg again. And lower. Last one, find the belt snug, and then the left leg, and lower. Now let's bring the hands underneath the forehead. Legs can be a little separated from each other. I'm going to gather the pelvic floor and snug the belt. Keep your hands touching your forehead, and as you exhale, lift your chest and head up off of the mat and lower down. Tiny movement. Again, snug around the sacrum and lower back, and exhale, lift head, arms, chest up off of the mat and lower down. Relax. One more time. Inner core, ribs gliding, lift the chest, arms, head up and lower down, and then relax everything. And then we're going to keep the arms and hands down on the mat. Engage the inner core, glide the ribs in, and raise your chest and head up off the mat, keeping the hands and arms down on the mat. And lower back down. Relax. And again, inner core, ribs, keep the arms down and raise the chest and head. Lift and open the chest. And lower down. And relax. One more time. Re-engage inner core. Lift the chest and head, leaving the arms down on the mat. Pull your ribs in, and then pull your pubic bone towards the belly button slightly as you lift both legs up, and then beat the legs towards each other, and do 5 little beats. And then see if we can do 5 more little beats. And then lower the legs, and bring the forehead back down. Let everything relax. And let's come up onto all fours. We'll draw the breastbone forward, wrapping the belt around, finding the support of the inner core. Tuck the tail underneath, between the legs. Bend your arms, bring your hips back towards your heels. Upper back, gently relax, lower back, gently stretching. And come up onto all fours. Find the support of your inner core, glide the ribs in and raise your chest. Opening the breastbone forward without collapsing the lower back. Regather the pelvic floor, wrap the belt, tuck your tail between your legs and bring your hips back to your heels. And one more time, up onto all fours. Open the chest. And restabilize around the pelvic girdle. Hit the ribs, tuck the tail and the chin, bend the arms and move your hips back towards your heels. And relax. Tracy, I know you have to go, but that's a good, even place for you to end. We're going to move on to the back. Returning to the constructive rest pose. Just checking in, again, feeling all the points where you're touching the body, the floor, relaxing down into the flow of gravity. And especially notice sensation around the pelvic girdle. Feel the sacrum. Notice if that wedge feels evenly weighted from side to side. We're going to go through the abdominal series very slowly, keeping a neutral lower spine. Engage the inner core, wrap the belt, knit and imprint the ribs. Shoulders are relaxed, raise the right foot up. Reconnect around your inner core, keep imprinting and raise the left foot up. Maintaining your neutral pelvis and spine, lift the head. Really think of the belt. Again, this is asymmetrical, but you can keep your pelvis well supported. Bend one knee and straighten the other leg out, and then switch. You're touching both hands to the bent leg. straightening the leg out on 45 degrees. Lift the elbows high and wide, tuck the chin. The pelvis, the lower back should be completely still. Good. Keep wrapping that belt. Keep stabilizing. Now we'll bend both knees. Bring the head down. Gently pull the knees into the chest. Lengthen the lower back and the back of the neck. And then move the knees out, reconnecting with your neutral pelvis spine. Lift the feet as high as the knees. Re-engage the pelvic floor, the belt, the knitting and imprinting, and lower the right foot down. Keep it down. And lower the left foot down. Keep it down. And then relax into neutral. As you're relaxing, imagine your back pockets spreading apart from each other. And then again, we'll find the inner core, supporting the neutral pelvis spine. Knit and imprint the ribs. We'll start with the left foot this time. Raise the left foot up. Watch as the left foot up that your ribs don't start pulling away from the mat. And then keep imprinting. Keep those ribs stable as you bring the right leg up. So here we are in our neutral tabletop. We're going to maintain neutral. One hand on each knee. Inner core. Engage your right even at the back of the pelvis. Knit your ribs and lift your head. And then we're going to straighten the arms and the legs, reaching away from center, keeping the neutral pelvis. Bend the knees. Touch the knees with the hands, but don't pull to a flat back. And again, stretch out and come back around, keeping the chin into the chest. Belt is wrapping around the neutral pelvis. Lower back stays still. The arms and legs move, but the spine is stabilized, the sacrum, the pelvis is all stabilized. Try using your exhale to go away and your inhale to come back in. And then we're going to pause, lower the head, pull the knees in. Go ahead and let your lower back flatten for a moment. Lengthen the back of the neck and the lower back. And then move the knees out away from the chest until your neutral pelvis is back in place. Feet as high as the knees, arms relaxed. Engage your inner core, knit and imprint. We're going to lower the left foot down first, and then the right, and relax. Imagine your back pocket spreading. And then reconnect, inner core, stabilize your neutral, knit and imprint. Raise the right foot up. Keep the pelvis still. And keep imprinting, raise the left foot up. Knit the ribs, lift the head. We're going to straighten the right leg up and the left leg out in front. We're still in the neutral pelvis. And then switch. Take your time. It's a big stretch. And be aware of that evenness at the back of the pelvis. No rocking from side to side. As the legs move, stable pelvis, stable lower back, chin into the chest. Elbows lifted high and wide. And then we'll bend both knees, put the head down, one hand on each knee, gently pull the knees in close. Lower back and back of the neck lengthen. Move the knees out. Lift the feet as high as the knees. Stabilize your neutral lower back and pelvis. Lower the right foot down. Keep knitting and imprinting. Bring the left foot down. And let everything relax a moment. Spreading your back pockets. Set it up again. Inner core, ribs knitting imprinting, left foot up and right foot up, hands behind the head. Double straight leg stretch, pull those ribs in, recommit to your lower core. You really need that work. Lift your head up and then extend both legs straight up to the ceiling. This might be enough of an exercise for you. You can just bend the knees and straighten them with a neutral spine. Or, for more challenge, keeping your neutral lower back and pelvis, lower the feet down a little bit and bring them back up. Be sure that the lower back curves isn't changing, and also that your back ribs stay imprinting. And nice, slow to the top. Your sacrum is planted down into the mat, really steady the whole time. Take your time with this. Controlling around the pelvis, controlling around the lower spine, keeping those back ribs imprinted. Definitely not going all the way down to the floor. And then we'll bend both knees, put the head down, one hand on each knee, and gently pull in. Feel the lower back and the back of the neck lengthen. Okay, now we're going to do the crisscross. This is a lot of asymmetrical movement, but if you can really stabilize around the pelvis, it should be fine. If you're having some problems in the sacrum, you can do this with your feet down instead. Let's find the neutral tabletop. Bring the hands behind the head. Engage the inner core. Knit and imprint the ribs and lift the head up. Or you could just maintain this position with your legs. Or if you're feeling good, we're going to bicycle the legs and go slowly, reaching the armpit over towards the bent knee on the opposite side. Be sure you're not rocking on your pelvis. Do it slowly, neatly, fully stabilized. Feel the turn of the rib cage. No twisting in the pelvis. Lower back is stable. Okay, bring the knees to the chest. Put the head down. Gently lengthen the lumbar and cervical spine. And then move the knees away from the chest and lift the feet as high as the knees. Re-engage the inner core. And we're going to lower the left foot down. And the right. And relax into neutral. Stabilizing your neutral pelvis, and we're going to keep it maintained. We're going to go into piriformis stretch, also really helpful for the sacrum as long as you stabilize. So keep that inner core wrap. We're going to keep neutral pelvis. Raise your right ankle up to your left knee. For some of you, this could be enough stretch here. I want to make sure we don't rock on the pelvis at all. So we lift the left foot up. We're going to keep our neutral lumbar, hands behind the left leg, back of the neck long, and straighten the left leg up to the ceiling. Keep your neutral pelvis as you bend the knee. And again, stretch up with the left leg. And keep the neutral pelvis as you bend the knee. That means your tailbone stays down. And stretch up. And keep the neutral pelvis. Don't let the back flatten. We're going to stay right here and find the stretch in the right hip. You're going to not rock over to the right side. Stay even at the back of the pelvis. You might want to push your right knee away with your hand. Or you can pull that left leg in closer, but don't let the back flatten as you do that. Relax the back of the neck. I'm going to breathe in this stretch for a few seconds here. Let's do a minute. I'm going to keep the shoulders easy, lumbar spines in place, slow breathing. You can simultaneously pull the left leg in and push the right leg away to get deeper into that stretch if that's feeling good. Again, even at the back of the sacrum, and neutral spine in place. No flat back for today. Then keep supporting with your inner core as you release. Lower the left foot and the right. And take a moment in your relaxed neutral. And then reconnect with the inner core. Left ankle to the right knee. Again, you might stay here, or we're going to stabilize the lower back and lift the right leg up. Keeping even at the back of the pelvis and your lower back curve in place. Straighten the right leg up to the ceiling, and then bend the knee, keeping your neutral pelvis. You stretch up, and bend the knee. Stay neutral, your lower back not flattening here. Stretching up, and bend, staying neutral. Adjust the stretch how it helps you. And again, we'll stay for a minute. Be sure you don't rock to your left side. You can pull the right leg in and push the left knee away. Neck and shoulders should be relaxed. We're aiming for a stretch deep in the left buttock. Keep your breath moving. Check that you still have your belt supporting you. And then keep supporting with your belt as you lower, releasing the feet to the floor. And relaxing into gravity for a moment, spreading the back pockets. And then being careful about how you make this transition. We're going to get the ball again, or you can use your blanket or your toilet paper roll. So roll to the side so you don't tweak the sacrum as you gather your equipment. And we're going to work with some roll downs. So we're sitting tall, reaching the sit bones down, feeling the wrap of the belt. Leg up, stretched in front of you. Knees can be bent as necessary. We're going to take the ball and hold it directly in front of the breastbone and soften the shoulders. Engage the inner core, so find the work of the pelvic floor, lifting away from the floor, the wrap of the belt. Scoop your belly button in, keep your shoulders relaxed, and begin to roll back. Want to keep the feet on the floor. The goal is not to go to any point in particular, but to go to the point where you're working to maintain without bringing any tension into the upper body. The feet are staying down. See if you can keep your legs parallel to each other, scoop the belly in. And then we're going to maintain and hover for a moment, drawing the belly into the spine. Keep drawing the belly button scooped in away from the skin at the front of your body, pulling it towards the back of the body. Shoulders relaxed. Then draw the navel back to the spine without disturbing your shoulders. Bring yourself forward. You can keep a little curve in the spine and bend down. If you have any pain in the sacrum from that, you can instead go to a neutral spine and hinge here. And then we're going to sit tall, fall in front of the breastbone again, reconnect pelvic floor, wrap the belt, easy shoulders, scoop the belly in. And roll back. We're going to maintain the legs parallel, so don't let the feet flop out to the side. Belly scoop in. Easy shoulders. Find a place where you can hover. And then draw the navel to the spine without torquing your shoulders. Bring yourself up and gently forward. Neck and shoulders relaxed. Your elbows should be bent. Let's do it one more time. Sit tall, holding the ball in front of the breastbone, relaxing the shoulders. Pelvic floor, wrap the belt, scoop the belly, keep the feet parallel, heels on the floor, and roll back. And we'll hover. Keep the shoulders easy. And draw the navel to the spine again. And bring yourself up. Gentle forward bend. You can get rid of your ball. Keep the elbows bent. And then sit tall. Bend the knees. Let the head hang down towards the knees. And then I'm just going to show you one more little fix you can do. If you get a pull on one side of the sacrum, another way you can deal with it is, so say I'm hurting on my left side, I can sit up with my knees bent like so, take my arm, my left arm between my knees, and the side that I want to stabilize, I'm going to engage my inner core and then press in, emphasizing the press of the hurting side into that elbow. Press and then release. And you can do that a couple times. Inner core and press in. So this is a fix if your sacrum is out. All the rest of what we did today can be used as prevention, just daily maintenance. So then let's, with the knees bent, let the forehead come down towards the knees. And then open the chest. All right, that'll do it. Thank you. Hope you're feeling really good and stable. And even if you're not having any sacrum issues at all, at this time of year, it's really good energetically. I know I'm going into the other realm, but getting stabilized in your lower body will help you stay a little bit more grounded as we get into transition of fall. So that's always a good thing to do. Next week we'll be back here on Facebook. The hall still won't be available, so I will see you here again on Facebook next weekend. Thanks. Take care. Bye.